Hey everybody, Roto Schlem coming to you live from HQ. I wanted to catch you up to speed on what we got shaking in the HB3. A lot of you guys are seeing this. Now we're adding the Rubicon, and you're like, well, it seems like we got a lot of stuff. And we do, but we have a lot of different stuff. So that's what I wanted to kind of touch on today. So here we go. We've got the Idol. And what makes the Idol so unique, not only is it just the beautiful one color, but the fact that it has microtracks for a cover stock. And that is our nanoparticle technology. The other key component here is the fact that it's symmetrical and it is lower RG. So it measures in at 249 and 052. So again, when you got those medium to heavier conditions, medium heavy to heavy, this ball is money. Now we get into the next release that came out that also features a solid type cover, and that's the Wild Streak. I think where a lot of people there's still some confusion a little bit on this one, and the fact of this is actually a chemically enhanced cover. So not particle, this one has a chemical enhanced cover. And so the chemical enhanced cover is actually reminiscent, the bloodlines flow with the phase 2, if you guys are well aware of that ball. That one too is also a chemically enhanced cover. So that was the mindset of this one. This is the RotoGrip version of that technology. But the other key part here is also the weight block. And as you guys know, this measures in at 260, and that's because there's no outer wrap core. So whenever you drill it, you're really just drilling a bunch of cover stock material out of it. You're still maintaining the integrity and still keeping that 260. And folks, that part right there, that's the highest RG part we make in Utah. So no matter, you can put 500 on this ball, it's still going to clear the heads because the 260 is going to carry it through the front. So I think that's one of the things to understand on how those two balls fit together. And now we add into the mix the Rubicon. And the Rubicon measured in, this is actually E-Tracks. So there is no enhancements to this whatsoever. There's no particles, there's no chemicals, it's just straight reactive, and that's the E-Tracks. Now, the key, the beautiful key to this part, and the rondeur part, and the reason I named that is because rondeur means a round in shape. That was the concept of where this actually started. And here I can actually show you guys this part here. Make sure I get the pretty side up. You can see this rondeur part. It's really big and bulky, and it's just round. And so when Hank actually started adding these cuts, that was the idea, to create a part with just a little bit more intermediate diff to emulate a symmetrical reaction as if it had a balance hole in it. Because as we know, August 1st, no more balance holes. So we had to, kind of build that in there, and that was the idea, and that's what you're going to see moving forward. So, but as you can see, the RG is at 249 and 52, so it's the exact same as an Idol, but it's got an intermediate split of 11. So if you were to take an Idol part and drill it, obviously to fit your PAP, and then pop an extra hole in it, you're actually going to end up with a split close between probably like 8 and 10. So that's kind of this built-in part that we have. And that was the idea, was to, because think of how many people actually use a symmetrical part with an extra hole. And that's really the mindset moving forward. Like we started with the UFO when adding those extra cavities in there to emulate holes. Now that obviously has a lot larger split, and those balls in the HB4 line with the bigger split means more mid-lane motion. This right here is still it's gonna clear that spot even a little bit easier. I was watching Alex actually do some tests earlier today, and I saw him throw a Rubicon against a couple different bigger asymmetrical parts. And you can definitely see that the Rubicon is a step up from our traditional, lower RG, middle of the run, medium to high diff parts, but not quite as overall aggressive as the big balls. He was bowling on a 44-foot flatter pattern. The bigger, stronger balls looked really good. The Rubicon was just a little, maybe not quite enough, but it was definitely more than some of the other symmetrical parts. And then he bowled on a beaten path pattern, and the Rubicon, man, he could circle the whole lane. He could do all sorts of tricks with it, and it gave him, but it didn't read early, and that's the key because it's E-Tracks. And the fact, like I said, it's symmetrical. It started as an idea of symmetrical with that rondeur shape, but then making those cuts to increase the split. So it's, like I said, it's like taking a symmetrical part. Like I said, if you take an Idol, if you take that part and you pop an extra hole in it, you're going to end up with a split close to what's already built into this Rubicon. And so that's the idea, building some variety. So as we have it now, we've got E-Tracks with a slight asymmetrical part. We've got a high RG weight block with a chemically enhanced cover and SureTracks. And then we've got a low RG core, symmetrical core with a Microtrex cover, which is a particle additive. So we've got 3 solids now in HP3, and all 3 are drastically different. So variety is a spice of life, my friends. And that is all I've got for now. Until next time, Roto Schlem signing out.